Did you know Dunkin' Donuts fries up more than 2 billion donuts each year? That's enough donuts to circle the globe multiple times. But here's the question. How does Dunkin' create millions of donuts that taste the same no matter where you are? From the simple glazed to the legendary Boston cream, there's a fascinating story hidden behind each bite. Let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how Dunkin' pulls it off. The journey begins in Quincy, Massachusetts, back in 1948. William Rosenberg, a man with a sharp eye for what people wanted before they even knew it themselves, opened a small shop. At first, it wasn't even called Dunkin'. He named it Open Kettle, a humble spot serving coffee and snacks for hard-working blue-collar folks. The name might not have screamed delicious donuts, but it was the start of something huge. Just 2 years later, Rosenberg rebranded it to Dunkin' Donuts, a stroke of genius. Suddenly, it wasn't just about coffee, it was about pairing it with the perfect donut. A combo that would fuel America for decades. Rosenberg's brilliance was in the details. He realized that most people wanted variety. Why settle for one or two flavors when you could have dozens? That idea gave birth to the iconic Dunkin' display case. Imagine walking into a store and seeing more than 50 flavors lined up, each one daring you to try it. It wasn't just smart marketing, it was irresistible temptation. By the 1960s, Dunkin' was spreading fast across New England. By the 70s, it had become a household name, inseparable from the morning coffee run. Then came Fred the Baker in 1982, with his legendary catchphrase, "Time to make the donuts." Fred became so beloved that when Dunkin' retired him in 1997, they sent him on a farewell tour. That's how iconic this brand had become. And Dunkin's expansion didn't stop at city blocks. In 1996, they opened a shop at the South Pole, yes, Antarctica. Imagine sipping Dunkin' coffee while watching penguins waddle by. That's taking loyalty to a whole new extreme. Now behind the scenes, what makes a Dunkin' donut so special? It all starts with carefully chosen ingredients. Their dough is made from a proprietary blend of high-gluten flour, sugar, yeast, eggs, milk, butter, and water. Each element serves a purpose. The flour adds strength and chewiness, sugar feeds the yeast to make the dough rise, and butter plus milk enrich the texture, giving it that soft, tender bite. It's not about complexity, it's about balance. The right amounts, every single time. Massive computer-controlled mixers handle the dough, each batch weighing hundreds of pounds. Precision is everything. Too much water, the dough turns sticky. Too little, it dries out. Even the temperature of the dough is monitored carefully because yeast is a living thing. Too hot, and it dies. Too cold, and it won't rise. Once mixed, the dough rests and ferments, letting yeast work its magic. This is where the airy, fluffy texture begins. Next comes rolling and cutting. Industrial sheeters roll out the dough to exact thickness, and specialized cutters punch out those perfect rings. And those little holes, they don't go to waste. They become the famous munchkins, a clever way to turn scraps into one of the most loved treats on the menu. After cutting, the donuts enter proofing chambers, warm, humid environments where yeast continues to do its work. Proofing is tricky. Too short, and the donuts turn dense. Too long, and they collapse. Timing here makes the difference between good and unforgettable. Then comes the star of the show. Frying. Donuts are lowered into vats of oil at 365 degrees Fahrenheit and fried for 60 to 90 seconds on each side. This gives them their golden brown exterior and soft, fluffy interior. If the oil's too hot, the outside burns and the inside stays raw. Too cool, and they turn greasy. Dunkin's conveyor system ensures each donut keeps its perfect round shape while frying. Once fried, the donuts cool on conveyor racks, allowing extra oil to drip away. Now they're ready for their makeover: glazing, icing, and filling. A classic glazed donut is dipped into warm sugar glaze that hardens into a shiny, sweet coating. For frosted donuts, machines dip them into chocolate or vanilla icing with precision, ensuring every surface is perfectly covered. Filled varieties like Boston cream or jelly are injected using calibrated machines that guarantee just the right amount of filling. Even sprinkles get special attention. If added too early, they melt into the glaze. Too late, and they won't stick. Dunkin has automated sprinkle dispensers that time it just right. But even after all this, the donuts face one final hurdle: quality control. Workers and machines inspect each batch, checking for size, shape, color, and even the filling-to-dough ratio. Any donut that doesn't meet the gold standard doesn't make it to customers. Some facilities even use automated vision systems to scan for defects, ensuring consistency across the globe. From there, donuts are packed and shipped to Dunkin' stores multiple times a day using a centralized bakery model. This ensures that whether you walk in at sunrise or mid-afternoon, the donuts are always fresh. It's a system that combines old-school craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology, producing millions of donuts a day, all with the same taste people expect. Today, Dunkin' serves over 3 million customers daily in more than 12,000 locations worldwide. While the menu has expanded to breakfast sandwiches, wraps and iced coffees, the heart of Dunkin' has always been about one thing: bringing people together over donuts and coffee. And of course their bite-sized heroes, the Munchkins, prove that even leftovers can become legendary. But let's not forget another sweet companion to donuts: sprinkles, known as hundreds and thousands in the UK, and jimmies in parts of the US. These tiny bursts of color can completely transform a dessert. Surprisingly, making them is just as precise as making donuts. Factories blend sugar, shortening, starch, and water into a base dough, extrude it into long, thin strands, and then cut them into tiny pieces. These are dried for hours, polished, sometimes dusted with edible glitter, and inspected for shape and color before being packaged. What started in 18th century France as a delicate sugar decoration is now a dessert staple worldwide. In the Netherlands, there's a breakfast tradition that might surprise you. Instead of cereal or toast with butter, many people enjoy hagelslag, chocolate sprinkles, spread generously on bread. It's a reminder that sprinkles aren't just decoration, they're a cultural delight enjoyed in unique ways around the world. And when it comes to desserts, nothing symbolizes joy quite like rainbow sprinkles. Small in size but bursting with color, they transform cakes, cupcakes, and ice cream into celebrations. But here's the secret: making them is no simple task. From carefully blending ingredients to shaping, drying, and polishing, every sprinkle goes through a detailed process to ensure consistency, quality, and that perfect crunch. Beyond baking, sprinkles have even inspired artists to create textured, colorful works of art. The next time you see those tiny bursts of happiness on a dessert, you'll know the craftsmanship behind them. But sprinkles aren't the only dessert stars. Let's talk ice cream, the frozen treat that turns ordinary days into celebrations. Ever wonder why your ice cream sandwich doesn't instantly melt into a gooey mess, even on a scorching summer day? It's not a coincidence. There's a hidden science and a masterful engineering story behind every bite. Let's dive into this frosty world where precision meets indulgence. The journey begins with that irresistibly smooth vanilla ice cream filling. It's not just delicious, it's a product of meticulous craftsmanship. High-quality milk undergoes an ultra-controlled process to ensure consistency, creaminess, and flavor. Everything must be efficient and rapid, because once the milk hits a certain temperature, it's game over for perfect texture. Each component of the classic ice cream sandwich comes together in perfect synchrony. The freshly churned vanilla is piped into molds, forming precise rectangular blocks, held at -10°C. It's cold enough to stay solid, yet soft enough to mold seamlessly between two chocolate-flavored crackers. These aren't just any cookies, they're engineered to be soft yet structured, with just the right level of crispness. The textured underside of each cracker grips the ice cream, ensuring a no-slip experience. Carefully loaded onto conveyor belts, the cookies wait in formation for their creamy partners to arrive. Once joined, the sandwich is born, but it's far from finished. The next step: deep freezing. Enter the blast freezer, a technological marvel that chills sandwiches at a shocking -40°C, colder than the Arctic. This locks in shape, texture, and taste. Within minutes, the sandwiches are rock solid, ready for wrapping. In the packaging station, robotic arms take over, ensuring every sandwich is wrapped with machine precision. The wrapper is moisture-resistant, heat-sealed, and airtight, preserving freshness and preventing freezer burn. But here's the twist: many ice creams are engineered with stabilizers that slow down melting. That's why your bar stays intact longer than expected. And what about that flawless chocolate coating, or the perfectly centered wooden stick? Each bar is crafted using robotics with pinpoint accuracy within a 1 mm margin. The chocolate coating, it contains extra cocoa butter, designed not to crack upon contact with ice-cold surfaces. Bars are whisked through freezing tunnels at 18°C, solidifying them in exactly 12 minutes. Every layer, from the coating to the stick, is part of an orchestrated performance. Even the chocolate to ice cream ratio is optimized. 60% coverage ensures structural strength and ultimate flavor. Too much, the shell breaks. Too little, customers feel shortchanged. The dip, a swift 3.2-second submersion, long enough for perfection, short enough to avoid excess.